In 4 days, the biggest update in Merge Tactics history is going to be in the game. This is absolutely incredible for the game. Just when we thought that we were down and out and this game was about to die, no, Supercell is coming in clutch with this brand new update, and it is absolutely crazy. They just released this new report today. It says Merge Tactics update December 2025. Let me read it to you. It says new month, new Merge Tactics, along with the update on November 24th. Rule over your opponents this holiday season with the battle machine, building modifiers, and 3 tough new troops, while 6 others rotate out for now. There are also new traits, skins, and features for you to try out. And it has the picture of the new ruler, the battle machine. The battle machine brings one random 1, 2, 3, and 4-star troop into battle in corresponding rounds 1, 3, 5, and 8, and it subtracts 1 from your team size at the very last round. That would be when you have 6 troops. So instead of the lung, like when you get the +1 troop in all rounds, the -1 max team size is just going to apply when you have 6 troops. So instead of 6 troops, you'll just have 5. And his building is absolutely crazy. You can have either an Expo, a mortar, an elixir pump. I believe that there were some other ones. Let's see if I can remember. I actually can't remember. Is it on here maybe? Actually don't see it for now. Okay. Oh, okay. Inferno Tower, Mortar, Expo, Tesla, and Elixir Collector are the 5 buildings that you can get, and there are also other modifiers that you can also get with the buildings, but I'll talk about that later on. There are new skins that you can collect. We have the Zebra Wood Machine, we have the Scheme Machine, we have the Blazing Bombshell, and this Forge Machine skin is absolutely that's funny. That's a funny skin, and I'm probably going to want to get that. We also have the Santa King, which is a very good skin in my opinion. Obviously, it's holiday themed, and I think that will be available to purchase with gems. So you might have to choose between spending your gems on card upgrades in the actual game and ruler skins in Merge Tactics. So let's get on to these new troops. As some say, new is always better. Welcome these new troops into the Merge Tactics arena. And we have the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and the Royal Giant. Now, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. is a P.E.K.K.A. trait and the Brutalist trait, which we'll talk about the new traits later. And it says a lightly armored heavy hitter with a soft spot for pancakes. And then we have the Giant and Ranger for the Royal Giant. He's a slow, tanky Ranger whose crown is heavier than his cannon. And then we have the Monk. I'm very, very interested in the Monk. I think he's going to be a very, very strong card. Probably the best card in the game this next season. It's Ace and Superstar. Creates a shield that deflects damage onto the offender and heals the Monk for a few seconds every few hits. This ability that the Monk has is so overpowered, it's not even funny. Whenever he goes into his ability, he just basically heals to full HP, not to mention that he's also an ace and a superstar, so we could have double abilities even, and just absolutely tank for any backline troops that might be there. I saw a little bit of gameplay from Abdude. He made a video about that. He actually has access to the dev build, unlike a lot of the other Merge Tactics creators. And man, the Monk was just insane. I watched in that video. It would just heal up fully. So I'm very interested to see the changes that he brings to the meta. The troops changes. They are removing a few troops this season, which is very good. It says, out with the old and in with the new. The following troops have given it their all and will be taking a well-deserved career break. And it cites the Archer, the Bomber, the Knight, the Baby Dragon, the Electro Wizard, and the Giant Skeleton. Now, these are some of my favorite troops in the game right now. I like the Knight, I like the Archer, and I like the Giant Skeleton. I think they're some of my favorite troops, in my opinion. But I think the Giant Skeleton being out is really unfortunate because I did like how the Giant Skeleton was, although his bomb was very, very overpowered. They also said for some reason that they removed the Bomber again, but it was already removed from the game, so there will be no changes from that. So we're going to be left with a lot smaller card pool, which is good because that will be a buff to, or an indirect buff to the Empress, or maybe even a direct buff to the Empress, and it might make her viable late season again. I did not see any changes, any balance changes to the Lung, and I think he definitely might have needed a couple balance changes and maybe remove that +1 bonus elixir per round. But I guess we'll just see once this update occurs. The changes to the troop traits. Let's actually look at the traits before we look at the changes. We have brand new traits come into the game. We have the Giant trait, and the Giants take less damage due to their unusual size, of course. and the Royal Giant and the Electro Giant are in the Giant Synergy. The two troops, it's minus 40% damage. I don't know how this is going to be. I don't know how I feel about it. The Royal Giant, obviously, we haven't seen yet. I haven't showed you this yet, but Royal Giant is a Ranger and a Giant, so I don't know how well that would fit. You can't really do a 2-tank strategy with the Giant because obviously the Royal Giant is a backline troop, so that wouldn't work very well with him. We have the P.E.K.K.A trait, which is the Mini P.E.K.K.A and the P.E.K.K.A, and this trait allows troops to do extra damage, and after taking down a troop, they heal, which is a little bit similar to Ace, but instead of the bonus hit speed, they do extra damage, and instead of taking a troop, or instead of healing with every hit, they just heal when they defeat a troop. It's 30% damage and heals 30% of max HP, so very similar to Ace, and it could be a very, very solid, very solid comp maybe that you can find with the Brutalist, or not the Brutalist, with the P.E.K.K.A Synergy. I believe it's called Synergy. What is this thing called? Okay, a trait with the P.E.K.K.A trait. And the Brutalist is another trait that is coming to the game. Brutalist gain bonus hit speed, marking enemies with each hit, and enemy targets lose HP after 4 marks. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I think it's going to be very good. We obviously have with 2 troops, it's plus 30% HP, minus 20% of the max hit points. And at 4 troops, it's plus 60% hit speed, and then minus 40% of the max HP. And it can be very, very good with the Goblin Machine, obviously firing off those rockets much quicker. The Skeleton King, the hit speed would be good with. The Valkyrie would be good with, and the Mini P.E.K.K.A would all be good with. So I think Brutalist would be very, very good, especially with enemy targets lose 40% of their max HP after 4 marks. So after 4 hits with the bonus HP, they're going to lose 40% of... Man, I'm looking at Brutalist. I think Brutalist is going to be meta. I think it's absolutely insane just looking at these stats on paper. But I guess we're going to have to see as the game, as the meta kind of evolves. We have the Superstar trait, the Combat Start. The Superstar's ability bar is partially filled, 50% chance to recast after casting their ability. So think of the Musketeer at a 1-star, takes 4 hits to charge. She would start with 2 of those hits already done, and she would have a chance to refire her ability after already firing it, and that does stack, so you could have a Musketeer theoretically firing her ability infinite number of times, but probably very rarely we would see 3 at the max number of times that she would be able to fire it. We have 1 troop. It starts out with 1 and 3. I don't know what does that mean. Let's see. The bar is partially filled. I don't know. Oh, okay, so they're talking about like what in 1/3 of the bar is... I got it. All right. So 1/3 of the bar is filled at 2 troops. 4 troops, it's 2/3 of the bar is filled, which is pretty good. The following traits will temporarily rotate out. We have Avenger leaving, Electric leaving, Fire leaving, Juggernaut leaving, and Mage leaving. I think that Fire, Electric, and Mage leaving was very interesting. I think all those were the Fire, Baby Dragon, Mage. Those are all in one comp. Last season, at the beginning of the season, before the balance changes, that kind of ruined the meta for the season. That was a very meta comp, but those are all obviously cycling out. We have the Juggernaut, which was a huge problem. The CC immunity made it absolutely overpowered and made it the best trait in the game, and that is actually stepping out of the arena for this time, which is very, very good in my opinion, and will definitely shake up the meta. The Avenger, I can't really care for. Obviously, Clan Avenger no longer going to be a comp, but Avenger wasn't really a main trait before. Now, let's go up here and look at the changes to troop traits. We have the Archer Queen going from an Avenger to a Ranger. Obviously, the Avenger got removed, so we're going to put the Archer Queen in the Ranger category. And man, if the Archer Queen ability goes off while she is ramped up in the Ranger synergy, it's over. You are not beating that Archer Queen. I don't think you're going to. One thing that is going to make very interesting is, though, will you want to still put your Archer Queen in the front row, maybe to snipe your opponent's backline troops? I think with this change, you're going to want to put her more in the back row, shielded by your tanks in the front row, instead of maybe putting her up front to snipe some of those cards. We have the Electro Giant is turning from Electric to Giant, and from Avenger to Superstar. I don't know how to feel about this. Obviously, both those traits got revealed or got removed. So basically, Electro Giant is just going to be the same base card with brand new synergies that we're going to be able to figure out. The Goblin Machine is going from Juggernaut to Brutalist. Like I said earlier, this could make his ability very overpowered with how fast he hits, making him fire off a lot more rockets than he typically would without that synergy. We have the Musketeer going from Blaster to Superstar. I think that is okay because her ability is obviously her strongest trait. But that also might nerf, or no, that actually might be a buff to Blaster with some of the other cards that have joined Blaster on the list, and I will talk about that in a second. The P.E.K.K.A is going from Ace to the P.E.K.K.A trait, and it's going from Avenger to Brawler. So we're going to have a high damage Brawler troop in the P.E.K.K.A, which could have a plus 100% HP increase and deal a ton of damage. The P.E.K.K.A could be a very, very good card in Brawler P.E.K.K.A. Just because of the amount of HP that it has and the amount of damage and the ability to heal off that damage, I think it could be absolutely busted. But I guess we'll have to see as the season as the meta kind of evolves once we start playing, if that is going to be a good synergy or a good trait. The Princess is going from Ranger to Blaster. I don't like this change. I'm going to be honest. I think this change is bad because I think the Princess just needs to ramp up to be able to do enough damage to keep up with the other troops. Although the Blaster synergy will allow her to do a lot of damage with because she is a long range troop. But I do think that maybe I'm wrong, okay? Because she would do a lot more damage with the Blaster synergy than she would with the Ranger synergy, but the Ranger synergy would allow her to do a lot more splash damage in a quick amount of time. So I think this could be both a nerf and a buff, but I think this actually, now that I thought about it, is probably a buff just because of how long of her range that she has. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that that is a good change or not, if you think that she will be better in Ranger, or if she would be better in Blaster, because I'm honestly not sure. So we have the Skeleton King right here going from Juggernaut to Brutalist. It's an okay change. I think he's going to benefit from the hit speed buff. Basically, all the Juggernauts were moved to the Brutalist synergy. I think that's just kind of the replacement to Juggernauts. Obviously, maybe because it was a problem last season, and I think they just wanted to make a new synergy for the game to have, and they all kind of fit into the Brutalist kind of theme for the trait. We have the Witch going from Avenger to Superstar. This is huge, in my opinion. This is huge because she's going to be spawning a ton more skeletons, a ton more quickly, and she could sometimes instantly spawn skeletons. So you're looking at times where at 3 stars, she could spawn 4 skeletons and then instantly spawn 4 more. And I think that is just absolutely insane. We'll have to see if there are other things that can counter her, but obviously already a solid card, going to be even more solid with the Undead Superstar. I guess we're just going to have to see once again as the meta comes out. Wizard is going from Fire to Clan. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if he really fits into the Clan synergy or the Clan trait, but I think that is a fine replacement for the Fire, and it's going from Mage to Blaster. I love this change. Wizard going from Mage to Blaster, perfect. A perfect fit. He fits in perfectly with Blaster. I think that is just a wonderful change for them to make because we obviously have the Executioner, and now we have the the Princess now in Blaster, the Executioner, and the Spear Goblin. So we have 3 splash cards in Blaster and 1 the Spear Goblin, which is probably just a single target, damage dealer that we have in Blaster. So I definitely like that change. And we're going to see if they maybe have any more balances that they're going to put in place before the season starts. But for now, this is what they have, and I'm really liking the changes. New modifiers. Merge Tactics has been building up the courage to announce a new type of modifier, buildings. Building modifiers add a building to your bench for you to deploy them onto the battlefield. However, unlike other Merge Tactics troops, buildings can no longer move once they join their first round of battle. Buildings function like other troops with designated range, damage, and HP, but unlike the Trophy Road versions, buildings aren't affected by your card level, don't lose HP over time, and don't count towards team size or ruler HP deduction at the end of a round. I don't know how to feel about that. I definitely think that's probably good, not counting towards the team size or the ruler HP. So they're looking towards buildings as more of from a modifier standpoint rather than a actual troop standpoint. I thought when they put out a buildings are coming to Merge Tactics post a little bit ago, actually yesterday, I thought that they would probably be talking about adding them as actual troops that you could buy from the card pool, but they actually are not able to buy them from the card pool. You're not able to buy them from the card pool. They're just from modifiers and the Builder Battle Machine ruler that you have. So that's an okay change. I don't know how I feel about buildings. Honestly, The mortar I seen was not great. I mean, just none of them seemed that great. But honestly, we're just gonna have to see as the season goes on. We have the modifiers that are building dependent, or actually just all the modifiers. We have in Bronze 2, you get the Elixir Collector modifier, so it's now onto the battlefield. And how the Elixir Collector works is it is a actual troop on the battlefield that generates elixir as the battle goes on. And if the battle ends before it generates an elixir or finishes generating the elixir it's on, you do not receive that elixir for that round. The Tesla you unlock in Silver 1. It's actually a modifier. It deals damage to nearby enemies, only appearing when one is in range. It has a very short range. It's 2 tiles, but it does do a lot of damage. Now we have the X-Bow. Takes a while to charge, but rapid fires on the lowest HP enemy when ready, and it takes a long time to get ready. They're probably going to have to buff the amount of time that the X-Bow takes to get ready, just because most of the times the round ends before you're actually able to get your X-Bow. Now, the Mortar unlocks in Gold 2. It's a long-range building that only deals damage to the farthest enemy. It was okay, I didn't mind it. And then in Diamond, you get the Inferno Tower. Damage increases over time when attacking the same target. Inferno Tower was probably one of the best, or probably was the best building on here. It ramped up pretty fast and it did a lot of damage. Easily able to take out tanks in the front row, which was very nice. There will be more modifiers joining Star Steel Road in January. So it looks like they're going to be, once again, in the January season, continuing to shake up the meta every season and updates every 2 months. So that's great. Other changes and improvements. I'm so excited to read this part for you. We heard you and we agree. Here are the new additions to Merge Tactics you've been waiting for. Emotes. Yes. Have you been dying to celebrate a first place win or congratulate the runner-up on a battle well fought? Well, now you can use emotes in Merge Tactics to express yourself. Yes, thank you, Supercell. I wanted this change for a long time. I think it's a great change. I think they needed it. And now they also have battle stats. By tapping the bottom left icon below the emote button, you can now find real-time battle stats for you and your opponents each round. Start setting up on stats like damage dealt, damage taken, and healing done. This does not mean that you have a battle log, but it does mean that you have kind of mid-round stats so you can see how you're doing. Unfortunately, there's no battle log. I would like to see a battle log, but that's fine. We'll take what we can get at this point. It's a great quality of life change and perfect. I love the Merge Tactics devs team right now. They are very responsive and very willing to listen to community feedback. The zooming in and out, you can now adjust your screen in Merge Tactics to have a better view of your battlefield or troop stats. So I don't really care about this much, but I guess if you want to zoom in and zoom out, you can if you want to. I probably won't be using this feature very much, but you never know. I might. You can now sort your ruler skins in the collection tab by ruler or rarity. That's okay. I don't really care about that change much. It's just nice quality of life to have. And then at the end, they say, we're always looking forward to hearing your thoughts on new content and features. So head on over to Discord or Reddit to share what you think about what's happening in Clash Royale. Keep ruling and merge on the Clash Royale team. Perfect update, in my opinion, if everything goes smoothly. This is the best and biggest update that Merge Tactics has ever had, and I am absolutely ready for it. I'm so excited for next season. I will see you guys there. Make sure to like and subscribe for next season's content because I have some very, very cool things on the way for you, and you're not going to want to miss it.